Hi, I'm Jazz Obrecht. Welcome to my Talking Guitar podcast with Aston, family man Barrett. When I learned that a new version of the Wailers was coming to my hometown of Ann Arbor, I jumped at the opportunity to interview Family Man. After all, Bob Marley has been my favorite reggae musician ever since I first bought a copy of Rastaman Vibration. I also knew that Family Man and his younger brother Carly had begun their careers as the rhythm section for Lee Perry's house band, which was called the Upsetters. After that, they joined Bob Marley and played on virtually every band recording Bob Marley made for the rest of their lives. Family Man also helped Bob arrange songs. He served as the co-producer of some of the records, and he was the musical director of the backing band. We had much to talk about. Language was a concern, though, because Family Man speaks in the Jamaican Rastafari accent. Luckily, the stars aligned. A student in one of my college classes, Chewy Frazier, grew up in the Bahamas and was fluent in the Rastafari speak. So I invited him to come along and to be an interpreter as needed, and he is the third voice you'll hear in this recording. Our interview took place on the evening of January 9th, 2011. It was less than 10 degrees outside, but when we were ushered into the Wailers tour bus and shown into a back room where Family Man was waiting for us, we found it was about 100 degrees where he was. He welcomed us warmly and relaxed on a couch, and during our conversation, he hand-rolled cigarettes out of tobacco and marijuana and enjoyed the ride. I hope you enjoy this conversation, and thanks for listening. I want to thank you for agreeing to talk with me.
Yeah, man. Great pleasure for me too, when I'm in the mood.
When you're in the mood?
Yeah, I know I have you coming up, so I'm preparing for you as much as I'm busy inside here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to start, if you don't mind, by asking you a question about your brother, Carly.
Okay.
You know, I've been reading up on him a lot, and people say that he was the great inventor of the one drop. Is that accurate?
Accurate. That's the man.
How did he come up with it?
Well, you know, we always think of music, like the heights of music. And we always say, what is the heights of music? Some people say soul music, some say classical, you know.
Yeah.
And then we still on the research, and we realize that jazz is the heights of music.
Really?
Jazz. So we decided to check out what jazz is all about, and we found out that it's just a free form music. So we decided to free up ourselves, you know, and create our stuff. And of course, drums are the first instrument in music. You know, what they used to use it a lot in Africa to, you know, send messages across the village and valley, and we would say city, everywhere. So what we do, we engraft that kind of Naya Bingi Kumina. It mixes with the Jamaican mento, and then we decide to create that beat and feel it on the one drop. And it becomes the heartbeat of the people, which is reggae. So I and I are the architect of reggae.
That's right. Is it true that your brother began on paint drums when you were children? Empty paint cans?
Yes, and I started out on a one-string bass, which I made myself.
How'd you make it?
The neck was made out of a 2x4 wood, and the body was made out of a 5/8 ply. And so I love drawing, you know, I'm a little artist, I love draw the body.
Use a jar?
Yeah, draw it, and let them guys cut it out for me on a bandsaw. And I nail it together. I never even screw it, I nail it together. and it was a board ashtray. I got onto the up down at the bottom of it, like a bridge, you know, to ice the string
An ashtray?
from off the, and the string was one curtain rod. A curtain rod. That's the only thing I see. I could hitch on one nail and stretch it and wire it around the next and put the board ashtray. Eat it off of the fret, you know.
Yeah.
When I play it go ping, 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 ping. But when I take it around to the back room, so it got a cellar, it's a wooden floor, and I rest it on it, and when I play it, it go boom, 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 like a bass.
How old were you when this happened?
Well, I wasn't checking the age, you know, not early age yet, but you know, teen for sure.
Teen?
But I wasn't really, I never checked, like I could say 15, 16. Well, it got to be in them time, 15, 16, 17.
Now, over the years, you've recorded with, you've played guitar, you've played keyboards, you've played percussion. What was the bass your first instrument?
Well, differently as the bass specialist, yeah, I play rhythm guitar, lead plug guitar, keyboards, percussion.
Is the bass closest to your heart?
The bass?
The bass. Is that your favorite instrument?
Yeah, I decided to play the bass myself, to strengthen the bass, the music.
Yeah.
Because the drum, it is the heartbeat. And the bass, it is the backbone.
Ah.
So if the drum is not right, the music is gonna have a bad heart.
Where's the guitar? If the
Well, I come into that, and if the bass is not right, it's gonna have, the music is gonna have a bad back, so it will be crippled. So that was the new concept in music when they have the big talk in Los Angeles, you know, not only the musical capital of the United States, but the world.
right.
That was in 73, 74. And get what was the big argument about? The
Right.
new concept in music. When all these producers meet up. The drum and the bass. Because American music, they used to hide it and give you a lot of violin, voices and chim 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 and horn section, you know.
Right.
And even the drum was way back.
That's right.
So we said, no, reggae music, it is the heartbeat of the people. It is the universal language, but carry the message of roots, cultures, and reality. So you have to feel that pim, puff, toot, you know, dub section.
Yeah. When did you get your first real bass?
Well, first I got some to borrow, you know, like these for a while. It was a Kent. Then I get a Hegman to borrow.
Hagman?
Yeah, some like a cheap bass, like, you know,
Yeah.
but them still plays, you know. And I also sampled Gibson and Kent and Offner. But Fender is the real bass for me.
I associate you with playing a jazz bass rather than a precision.
Fender jazz.
What attracts you to the jazz bass versus the precision?
Well, it sounds deep, reminded me of what bass is all about. God, nothing like the upright bass. You know. So I always try to adapt that principle of that sound, even when I'm playing that electric bass. So I tune the Fender and my ham to let it beat like the acoustic bass.
Back when you were playing with the Upsetters, did you have decent amplifiers, or did you have to make do with whatever was there?
Well, I have to give thanks for what we got. We didn't get much. I ended up with a little Fender amp one of the time. We used two 6L6 output tube, but they blow so often.
Two 6-inch speakers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I take out the 6L6 got made with the Fender circuit, and I use two KT66. So when I put in that tube, it doesn't get red and burn out, you know, like.
You're talking about the tubes in the amp?
Yes.
You took out the 6L6, and what was it you put in?
2 KT66.
KT66?
Yeah. And that make it punch more smoother.
Like that?
Yeah.
KT66?
Yes, and took out the 6L6.
Now, the first time you were in a studio playing ever, was it doing Watch This Sound? Was that the first song you recorded?
Do I what?
The first song you recorded, was it the Unique's Watch This Sound?
Yes, Watch This Sound by the Uniques.
What do you remember about that?
Well, when I was appointed for the session, I told him that my knees were shaking like a leverage on a tree. I never even been to a studio to see what a studio looked like. No one ever take me to a studio.
Yeah.
They only heard me at the bandstand and practicing, you know, to go to play, ghetto places. Yeah, so when I get the session, I remember I said to BBC, that's one of a singer group, what they used to call, they call them now Knowledge. I said, I get this appointment for this session at the studio, but I never been to a studio yet. I do have no experience. Them said, that's where you're going to get the experience.
That's where you're going to get experience?
Yeah. You know, it wasn't much help. I'm like, you got to go. You know, anyway.
So was the Hippy Boys, did that come next for you?
Yes, it was about a Hippy Boy time. I'd say, yeah. That's the first name for the first band. Which is the same band. It's just the name them keep changing around.
Well, that was with your brother?
Yes.
Do you think that the fact that you were brothers played an important role in the rhythm that you created? I've heard, you know, I've interviewed other brothers who are in bands like the Van Halen brothers and different guys, and they always say that I understand my brother's rhythm better than anybody in the world.
Of course I do. That's where we lock the drum and the bass and come up with a dub section. I know drum and bass musicians never practice globally. There's a drum and a bass, but there's a place, you know. We do that, and he make a little platform, and they get some different sizes of empty paintings. You know, some get different sound. And he was also in the back room with me, so he's hitting the floor, which is right heel at the foot drum, getting that bass effect, and having my one-string bass rest on the board floor behind the door, almost getting that other bass effect.
Yeah.
You get the bass effect, and then get the foot drum bass effect. And they have the different pan, and you have a little cymbal. Maybe it was walking and find one side of a cymbal, you know, them cymbals where go like that.
Yeah.
So nail it up on a piece of wood like that. So that one cymbal was both its crash and its off the beat hi-hats.
When you first laid eyes on Bob Marley, did you feel a sense that, did you like him?
Yeah.
Did you sense anything like special about him in terms of his songwriting, or was he doing covers back then?
Well, years after, you know, we're getting to that after, like, when Bonnie Livingston and Peter Tosh left the band, you know, the first tour was 72.
Yeah.
When Bonnie quit away, and the following year with Peter, it was a little shaky.
Yeah.
So the last part of the tour in the US, we got Joe Higgs to accompany Peter Tosh, and after that Joe Higgs went back off to his solo career, and Peter left too. And my keyboard player could not be found, Earl Linder.
Oh.
And Bob said to me, what are we gonna do now? It's only 3 of us leave. I said, the 3 of us, I can do it, man. He said, what I mean? I said, 3 of us, that's the power of the Trinity. So I said, what is gonna be my first move? I said, I'm gonna rearrange our music room, rehearsal room, and set it up like a little demo studio, so we can tape our new concepts of lyrics, melodies, and music, and prepare ourselves before we're ready to go into the studio. And that's where we began to work on this album called Natty Dread. And we were working on it. This lady came up from upstate New York. Her name is Martha Vallis.
Oh, yeah.
So she have an album to do called Escape Out of Babylon. She's up by, from Woodstock. Yeah, Woodstock. So she said she got 5 songs originally, and she wanted to cover 5 of our songs. And we have to produce it for her. And we stopped what we were doing, and we work on her album and record it, overdub, voice, and mix it and give it to her. And we get the okay from Highland Studio, you know, to do the project. And she gone well pleased. And as we get back into the studio now and finish laying our tracks and prepare to start the overdub, we get another invitation. This one was from Taj Mahal,
Right.
in San Francisco. He was working on an album called More Roots.
More Roots.
And he wanted to cover one of our songs too, Slave Driver. So we went up to San Francisco. It was Bob Marley, Alan Skin Cole, Lee Jaffe, and myself. 4 of us. And I even played the piano on that track also for Taj Mahal.
Didn't you help with?
Slave Driver. I overdubbed the piano in it for him.
Didn't you work on the mix of that album too?
Which one?
Did you work on the mix of More Roots?
No, just the first one, More Roots.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that one. We promised us to do other projects, you know, but we're busy up and down.
Family Man, I'm really curious to know about how you put together songs with the Wailers. How would it like, if I could pick a couple examples, like a song like Who the Cap Fit or Slave Driver, No Woman, No Cry, what would the song start with? You know?
It's an illustration of what of Earth crisis, Earth runnings, you know. That's, yeah, like sometimes they say
That's going to be too loud.
Yeah, sometimes they say you can't judge a book by looking at the cover. And you see a man's face, but you do not see his art. So it's just another illustration, you know. Like, your enemy could be near as well as he could be far. So that's where we say your best friend could be your worst enemy.
Yeah.
And your enemy, you know, could be your best friend. And it's only your friend or your secret, whoever that one is, so only they could reveal it. And apart we say, if night should turn to day, a lot of people would run away. You know. And
Can you separate spirituality from music?
if I get,
Let me ask. Praying, right? You say your prayers, right?
yes.
Is there a difference for you between saying your prayers and playing reggae?
Well, of course, but it worked out to be in one, because, you know, the Almighty said that he that worship him secretly, he shall reward thee openly. You know. Yeah, man, and we are voluntarily chosen from the heavens to come down to earth here like our big brother Jesus to fulfill a mission also. I will tell you, I have the upcoming, there's other people can do the miracles what he performed on earth, to do what he do too, even greater than what he do. And we see greater things is happening today from the ancient time. Like chariots without horses.
Yeah.
You know, like we're in one of them, these chariots. It's not like a big stagecoach with about 4 hours.
Yeah.
It got horsepower. Yeah, man.
What was your favorite part? I've been reading a lot about the Wailer history, and there was a lot of stress with business, managers, and things like that. What was your favorite part of the Wailers back in the 70s?
By moving off, starting off, we know we got a vibe, we know we got a message, and we have that integrity for carry through, so we know we're getting that inspiration from the Most High. And we listen to all what's going around, all type of music, vibration of sounds, you know, because it's word, sound, and power, you know. And we decided to take it to the next step, even differently from the late 60s, you know. Inspiration, so we're gonna move it up now. And when we move off, so like when we first started the tour, I recall playing at a place in England called the Speakeasy. We're doing 2 shows a night for 2 weeks. And when we finish the mission, they write up in the papers, because that club name is Speakeasy, they said that's where all the media people hang out, you know. Journalists, critics, TV, radio, newspaper, magazine. So we were playing for them 2 shows a night for 2 weeks. And most of the time it's like I'm seeing some of the same faces with some new faces. Some don't miss it. 2 shows for 2 weeks. They write up in the papers that the first song what we play, it casts a spell upon them, and after that it was like magic.
Yeah. What did you guys feel? Do you remember there was a show in Philadelphia? I think it was the first night of the tour, and Bob Marley's mother came at the Tower.
I recall seeing that
in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, I think it was. And Bob Marley's mom came down from Delaware to attend the show. And from what I've read about it, and I have a tape of the show, it was quite different. That Bob was pretty much playing a song for his mom being there. It changed things around. Do you remember that by any chance?
Yeah, a couple of times I see.
It was called the Tower Theater, I think.
Yeah. Was she performing?
No, she was in the audience though, but Bob knew she was out there.
Okay. Yeah, that was cool.
Were you friends with his mother?
Her first gospel album, I produced it. But then some different management came by to work, you know, and things get out of hand for sure. Because when I see the first design for the album, I said, no, that's not it. You can't dress her up like that. They have to have a church called backdrop, you know, scene, you know, and things like that. And then they did something else, but then they knew some people coming to do accountants and then all of that kind of crap. And shift things around from the original, because she said she wanted me to be her manager, you know. But I said, no, I can't manage you, mommy. I will be your producer.
Yeah.
Your arranger and your producer. I was sure right there, so.
Among all the reggae musicians you've worked with, which is pretty much the who's who of reggae, right? Do any musicians stand out as people you really enjoyed working with in particular?
Working with us?
Yeah, with you, working as a producer or a bass player. You worked with Peter Tosh, you worked with Marley, you worked with all these different people. Yes. Who are your favorite characters?
I'll tell you, you know, I just take it as it comes, one day at a time, because it's like a thrill. differently from the blessing to work with these different people. To listen to them.
Yeah.
To listen to them soul, what they're trying to burn out. And I find it and burn out the thing for them, with them.
What do you think the role of the bass is? When you would go in the studio with somebody, what did you think was the bass's role in the music?
Yes, it is, because I love singing also, but I don't practice my vocal for that. So when I'm playing the bass, it's like I am singing baritone. So I create a melodic line each time.
Are any songs, do you have songs that are particularly close to your heart?
So many of them, I tell you, my man, they all do. Because when you listen to them all, those Bob Marley and the Wailers tracks, you know that nothing else could have done to that track. From Drum Street, where the drum roll. You know, it's that song, that is that one, that is that one, that is so unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of that came from our rehearsal room with the inspiration. And of course, we always, the first stage of the music set certain way, it's always set like a ballad style.
Yeah.
And when we go to the studio, then we do the real thing. You know?
Can you tell me the story of Want More?
Want More? Yes.
Now that you got what
between
you want,
between Bob,
more?
between Bob, my brother, and myself, we co-write over 11 tracks. And we can recall we registered 6 out of 11. And as much as I have 2 guitarists and 2 keyboard players, I play a portion of keyboard and sing. As I play most of the rhythm guitars, I overdub. I play some, you know, if it sounds right, sick. I am the sound engineer. I am the last one I have to listen to every mix. You can mix things when I'm not there, but when you can take it to like, I have to recheck it. Yeah, everything I put up on a pace and a pitch.
What did you play the same bass all through the 70s?
With Bob?
Yeah.
No, that one I lease it in the museum in Seattle.
Ah.
That music place there, and it tour as much as I do. Yes.
What happened to Bob's Les Paul?
That's the one, the family got that one.
Oh, do they?
But I did get the Yama.
Yeah.
The one we bring from Japan in 77. Yeah.
Do you know whatever happened to Al Anderson?
Yeah, out there doing them some spookulous things. And you know, they out there doing their own thing, but some part of it they were trying to impersonate, which is not good. You know, they should think of something else, what they used to do before they knew me, before they knew the Wailers band.
Yeah.
And I don't try to do what they're doing. When I first met Jimmy and Junior Marvin, he was pretending to be Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
And about himself called Music Marvin Explosion. So that's where they should explore this, explode in that way. But instead, you know, they're trying to create some scene which is not good for the music, the World Federation of Music, and now the music of Jamaica and jazz.
How did
trying to violate all of that? It's just not too good.
Were your parents fans of jazz music? Your mother and father, did they like jazz?
No, but I listen to liquid jazz, so I mix all of those concepts of music and put into the reggae. You know, it's got funk, it got rhythm and blues, it got soul,
Oh yeah.
and it's a little jazz in there too.
When you were a
It's
little
reggae.
When you were a little kid, what kind of music do you remember? What's the earliest music you remember?
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, we have to listen to what we hear on the radio. I know Jamaica wasn't too advanced in those early years, so, but still we hear soul, we hear merengue, we hear soca. Yeah, them all blues from America, because we used to listen to Elvis Presley a lot.
Yeah.
Little Richards, Fats Domino, Billy Haley, Joe Cocker, Little Richards, the Drifters, the Impressions, you know.
Were you aware of a guy named James Jamerson?
James.
Jamerson, the bass player for Motown?
Yes. Rick James, yes. Yeah, man, I have to listen to them sound. And I met a few of them when we on the road playing in the Los Angeles area. We were mostly playing at this place called it's a small club where we do 2 shows a night too. The Roxy. The Roxy.
Yeah.
I met Rick James there and Buddy Miles and some more guys. Yeah, I remember Rick James coming with him bass.
Yeah.
Show me all these digits on the bass, switches and for sounds. I want to know what I have on my bass sound like that. So when him come out, him see there's a plain Fender bass. There's bass, no effect. That's what you put in it, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, what comes out. You know, the vibe, it's not even active. It's normal.
Yeah.
All I used was just a little Soundcraft, little equalizer. So I used 2 sets of heads, you know, 2 rigs, them left and right to make the thing tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
If one of your
Then I look for my bass and say, what is it? And when I'm sure I'm a female man, switch is like in a plane. You know?
you like simplicity?
Eh?
You like it simple? You want it simple.
Simple?
Simple. You like your bass and sound to be simple, no effects?
Well, some tone matching certain concept of music, you know. The way you're creating the music, it might call for a little thing, you know. Things like that. But I use any one of the bass them still, but you know, I prefer the Fender still.
Yeah.
Yeah, some look good, but you know, the Fender bass, it not only sound like a bass, it look like a bass. You know, it have a one of it. Look for my Asian time.
Can I ask you a couple of questions about Bob Marley?
Yes.
Was he a very disciplined musician?
Yes, we are.
Could you tell me, like, what rehearsals were like?
Yeah, we decided to come together as singers and players of instrument and do it, spread the message 4 corners of the earth. Because in those days, the band what I got, every man know every man parts. You know, you play the keyboard, but you know to play on some parts on the guitar. So it was so unique, you know, everyone just hold tight. I recall when we were doing the live recording for Babylon by Bus, it was 2 shows at the same place. And when we did the first show, and they replay back the tape, they said, no, they can't use it. It's too exact like the LP. So they're begging us, loosen up a little, put a little rock and a little soul in it. And that's what we do to make that Babylon by Bus.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the very first session, the first night, not released yet.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I used to listen when I'm at work, you know, on the studio not using. I just put on the live tape of the first show and just dub it.
Did Bob write most of his songs on acoustic guitar?
I would just say, yeah. he uses guitar, and we do something together, or sometimes you hear a rhythm, a sound, and you get an inspiration and find a melody and lyrics too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Donald Kinsey told me that one day he asked Bob, "Where do your songs come from?" And Bob answered, "Songs are in the air, and they choose someone to come through, and sometimes they choose me." Did you ever hear him say anything like that?
Repeat that again.
Can you say it for me?
Good.
Said the song in the air,
Yeah.
and they come through him. They choose him to come through his soul. Speak the song, speak through him. They choose him.
Yes.
If you ever hear him say anything like that.
Yeah, man, and so the inspiration come through and I, for sure. You see, we are coming from the throne of King David, the chief musician, and we are the archangels, and it's coming from the Psalm, the book of Psalms. So the whole world manifests through and yes, so the inspiration goes. The band is called first the Hippy Boys,
Yeah.
then the Upsetters, then Youth Professionals, and that is what became become.
Was
Atlantis
Tyrone
International.
Downey and the youth professionals? Is that
Tyrone.
what Tyrone was in
Yeah,
that?
that was his first band I have him in when we were in school. and taking him to studio. He's the one what was down on me for the name, for the band name.
Uh-huh.
And somebody was making a club and they gave us like 3 weeks to prepare and the club would be finished and they want to open it. So we've been rehearsing 3-4 times a day, you know, through some time. And them down on me, what is the band name, what we're going to call the band? I said, don't worry man, the name soon come, the name will come. So the very final week, the rehearsal was so tight. I said, Mr. I have to tell them the name today and now too. So we were all joking, you know. So I said, I and I is what? So Tyrone said, I and I the youths. But so the people them who come in to hear us, what they expecting to hear. You know, there's some professional music. So I said, you just call the name. So what? Youth Professional.
Feel free to, if you want to ask something, anything you're curious about.
Man. And,
If a young child, if a child came up to you and said, I want to learn to play bass like you, what would you recommend? What would you suggest?
it's a good idea. Keep at it, go at it, and listen keenly. Because when you listen good, the more you go to it, the more it comes to you. I listen. When I started out even with my 1-string bass, I always said to myself, how am I going to play that at 3? Because it's 1st string and the bass, you know. And I don't stop doing what I know I can do to the 1. So there's no more. And then I start to get a guitar now. We make guitar and the guitar only have 1, 2, 3 strings. I would tone them, you know, tighten them to them so like harmony. And playing maybe just 1 key or more, but we get a rhythm like 1, 2, 3, 4 chords out of it. You know?
Were your mother and father, did they approve of you becoming a musician?
Well, I know one of the time, I hear like my dad said I had to be one of them pilots, a flyer. Well, the mother always say, go school and learn and know, you know, of course you're going to know what you're going to do.
You're
a
welder?
Vibes, yeah, but she knows that I'm a genius. The mother at that time I look at genius from birds, you know. And hear them talking that all the while about me. Say, you where you go be, you going this and you that and rare. So after a while I begin to feel the vibe myself and say, yes, it's true. I really have a vibes from Jah when the sun works, and as time go by, it will enlighten me more. You know, they say as time goes by, knowledge shall increase. And I always meditate on myself as you try to say, I wonder what I will be doing in the next 5 years. Every 5 years I meditate what I'm going to do for the next 5 years. 5 years ahead I meditate all the time.
What do you want to do for the next 5 years?
Well, right now, you see what we are doing here is that I'm still doing the same thing. I see nothing changing around technologies and all of that. It's like what goes around comes around. They're trying to get back more technical. We heard of it. Even in the school, I used to joke about some of these times we're having now. I used to say, in time to come, you're not going to need muscles anymore. And so why? I said, everything going to be just press button. There.
Maybe not.
Look from when I said that, from in the 19, I said 40s, 50s. I had met those kind of talks. In time to come, you're not going to need muscles anymore. Spare computers. I said, if you need muscles, you're going to have to go to the gym.
Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions about spirituality?
Repeat that part again. I hear the spirituality good, but
if you could ask you a couple of questions about your spirituality.
Yeah, man. Oh, you know, of course, go right ahead, man.
Ask him what he thinks happens when people die.
So what do you think happened after death?
What I think happened after death?
Yeah.
Well, I hear a lot of things out there. And I also hear that we also is the reincarnated soul from the ancient time, living in this time. So we pass through all of them things already, so and reborn again also. You know? Yeah, Bonnie Wailers sing that song. We are the reincarnated soul from that time, living in this time, you know. It's on the album called Burn in the Wailers, the second one with Island. Yeah. Well, you know, you hear things, you see movies, you know, you see astrology saying things. And just like we're hearing about God, all different sound here, but we don't know if there's no one true and living God, no matter the different names, whether you want to call him Jesus, Allah, or Jah, or Mom, what them call him, is the one God out there. But maybe the different culture and languages make them recite the name of the God different. But them know within themselves that there is a God. But him that God tell you that they must be careful, because you must not worship no other God but him. So it look like you have some duplicates out there too.
As if there's a heaven.
You have some other gods out there. It seems like. I saw a movie, it was a comedy show, and a guy came in, like them have to carry him to the emperor or somebody, you know. And them say, who's that man? And the guy tell them, say, he is that and that. And them say, and how many gods he got? Them say, he only got one God. And the emperor laughed and them drop on the ground. Get up and say, he only got one God.
So, do you believe there's a heaven? Do you believe in a heaven?
Heaven? Yeah, man. Yeah, the height of heights, which is the heavens, of course. Because that's where the Almighty rests, in the height of heights. Them call it heaven. But heaven and earth is the same place, you know. It's just the height of heights of heights. It's not like it's up in the air. It's the same place. Because you see them go take a lot of trip out there in orbit. The space represent the earth, and the earth represent the space. Plus the earth is the fullness of the Lord thereof. So it wasn't for the earth, you wouldn't have the moon, the sun, the star. The whole thing is about the earth, you know. The care where they go, they have to come back to earth. Because earth is the fullness. And it wasn't for the earth, they couldn't reach up there. Because even when they discovered to go into some of the pyramid, I was in England one time, one Sunday night watching BBC Two, and I see them have a drawing and some people say so, and them see something coming out of the sky and I'm surprised. And it was something coming down looking like a spider. And then I'm sure the one what them said them land on the moon and say, who is this they see coming down like a capsule landing on earth? Because even the Bible itself tell you about what is the guy name? And then Collider. The one who will take off from earth into his chariot of fire.
Chariot of fire.
So people been going out long time, so they're just catching up where they is right now. Even Atlantis, the last continent, what blew up, destroy themselves. It was far advanced more than where we are right now too, you know. Because they take the heat of the sun, you know, just like solar system. And they use it and generate and make things and get out on with them politics. And there was a next set of family who knew what they're doing to the scientific and who they're going to destroy themselves. So they built a dome under the sea floor. So not all of them being destroyed. Yeah, my man there.
We've had change tonight.
Yes. And those people is in the era of what they call the Bermuda Triangle. So that's why nobody can find out what's going on there. If you go too near and take you, and you have to stay there too. They can, since all the great technology they have, why they don't go down to the Bermuda Triangle and find out what's happening down there? They can't. But there's higher science than that. And those people are there. I went to a studio in Jamaica about 3 different times and I see a certain book thrown down behind the door. And the third time I go there, I decided to take out the book and read it. Open it and look at it. I did tell them there was some satellite moving in space. And you know what they spot flying around. One of a squadron which was missing from World War II, what was training, and they said they seemed to be moving perfectly okay, and those planes are not designed to be in orbit, and like they keep flying around, they can't stop flying around. They said the camera even pick up the sign and them shoulder, it was American sign and them, and that training squadron was missing in between that time. Nobody get the trace of it. And there was another satellite from Russia, just like America, moving around the moon too, on a spot, and they see something look like a plus. And they decide to bring in the plus. And when they bring in the plus, guess what it was? A Telecaster bomber from World War II on the moon. How it get up there? And those planes are even designed to go out of Earth gravity. It's not a spaceship, it's not a shuttle, it's not a rocket. And it's on the moon, just park on the moon. Like somebody take it up there and put it down.
Wow.
And there was a lady now, that's how I bring the whole thing to my knowledge now. She and her husband, their dream was to buy a yacht and travel around the world. And just after they accumulate the money and maybe get the yacht, the man gets sick and died. And the lady, she decided to make that trip anyhow. And she moved off on it, tired one night, drop asleep. Last time she said she knew she was coming around almost on her compass to see that they're coming up to where the area of the Bermuda Triangle. And she fell asleep. And when she wake up, she said something wake her up, and when she wake up, she find that she in a mist, like a thick of cloud, you know, mist. And the lady explained it in the book, said the mist was so thick that when she wore her hand to her face, so she not even see her hand. And she feel like a vibe took her out of the boat. And she find herself somewhere where she see some people looking like them here from a long time waiting so the body don't come pick them up. Some fisherman, she said she saw some airline crew. Those guys could be the guys from the telecast.
Wow.
On the moon. And she said she going to be in the paper also as missing person. And she said she began to pray. And that vibe move her back from that place and she find herself back in her yacht. And out of the reach. And so she get to write that. So I hear what you say.
Let me ask you this, if I may.
Well, this dead thing, well, I can tell about is the life thing I know about. And they try sustain and enjoy and do some magical work with until you know when the time, as Bob said, one bright morning when my work is over, I will fly away home.
What do the words? What do these words mean to you? If you know what life is worth, you will look for yours on earth. Now you've seen the light, stand up for your right.
Get up, stand up.
Yeah.
Yes, 'cause, you know, some people think that a great God is gonna come from the sky and take away all them problems and everything nice. But if you see him on the TV, it's the insurance company to come up and straighten out the tax for you. And so and so. So you have to emancipate yourself from that mental slavery thoughts. I know that you have to do it. Know that you know now, you look for yours on earth. As earth running, you know. The man running the herd within the world order, them call it the democracy. Is that the word?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, society.
Why do you think that, a lot of people went through the Wailers back when Bob Marley was in the band. Why do you think that you and your brother were the mainstays? What was it about the chemistry between the three that lasted through all the changes?
All right. Well, is that thing what we practice over the years, different from the inborn concept of bringing the music. Because it's music is what brings us together, you know, what brings the musician and the singers together. It's music that vibes. And we grow up to be musician, like session musician, and have a band.
Mm-hmm.
And the Wailers and Bob and Bonnie and Peter, then they were started out as a vocal group, like a big choir, singing. And the first song I heard with the Wailers was Simmer Down. And from I hear that tune in a club we were one evening, no other tune playing that jukebox but Simmer Down. Yeah, man, I went into like a trance, like it's me and my version them do that music, like I was involved with the music. Well, I'm not even involved with music yet. Those days I am an electrical welder, I'm a bike mechanic, I'm a blacksmith.
Yeah.
So I engraft all of those other talent and construct the music. That's what I did. That's what makes it so special.
Beautiful explanation.
Yeah, man.
Wow. What was the difference between working with Bob Marley and with Peter Tosh?
Well, I love all the three versions them, you know, and I love both three of them have a vibe, but I know that Bob is the man, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Could feel that different, you know. And yeah, cause for both of them left the group, I still went and support El Peter with his first solo album, Legalize It.
Mm-hmm.
Also Bonnie first solo album called Black Heart Man.
Yeah.
And one of the tracks is my him tracks. Him say him love the track and he's gonna write some melody for it. The song what called Armageddon.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I love that song.
Yeah.
So, do you think that the reggae music of today still conveys a positive message?
Yes, well, of course, you have all type of music going on. You know, it's like sometimes it comes like a little battle going on out there in the music scene. And I could see enough changes, like it moved from record to CD, you know, you download. I wonder what's really happening to the record, you know, when people want to go to music store and buy music again to take home or club or, you know. I don't know, it's kind of different, you know. I prefer the old way where the vinyl was running, you know. In 45 LP, disco 45, EP, to have a better rhythm, you know, musically. But anyway, I guess it's a future thing, so they want it to be, you know. But we know that, well, even when we coming up as young musicians, you know, and playing this type of music we playing, it's like, at first, other musicians didn't rate us, you know. They said we are 2 chords musicians. So we only can play 2 chords. And I said, yes, I agree. But which 2 chords? With what tempo? And what riff? That's what makes it so special. And Bob used to say more time, you see me, man, me not a pretty voice singer, you know. I said to Bob, I know that you're not a pretty voice singer. You're the greatest expressioner who express lyrics between melody and music. No one does it like you did.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you have any favorite songs that Bob wrote?
These are the words of my master, that no weak heart shall prosper, and whosoever diggeth the pit shall fall in it. Because if you are the big tree, you are the small axe, ready to cut you down. But it's not like violence, you know, like where we say we are a rebel, we say we are a soul rebel, soul adventurers, you know. That's where we are. We're not, you know, like rebel without a cause, you know, terrorists. We're not into that crap. And all we do is smoke herb and give praise to the Almighty. But through other kind of substance take over globally, they make it look like we're using drugs. And they know that is not true. They know what drugs really is. This is the thing, they know it's good. It's good for over 300 medical purposes. Plus the sticks make fine linen for clothes. And it also make the strongest rope you could use for ship down in the dock. And it make all them khaki uniform and war uniform within World War II. And within World War II, they meet up together and put a ban on it in 1942. They kind of let it, they're going to make it illegal. Because it's too good and they want to sell other plants.
It sure makes you, you know, it makes you feel so good. It makes you feel so good. It opens you up.
Yes. It was first discovered on King Solomon grave. And it was called Wisdom Weed before it labeled with all these different other names.
You know, Donald Kinsey told me that one day Bob Marley said to him, you need to quit smoking ganja and read the Bible. And he's still surprised by it 30 years later.
They began to read the Bible?
No, that Bob said, that Bob, who smoked a lot, said to Donald, you're smoking too much, you need to stop.
Okay.
He found that curious.
Yeah, Mr. Buckle, because I'm nice calling me there. Yes.
Hey, what's it like having 42 kids?
Mm.
Do you know all their birthdays?
What a blessing, I tell you. And 29 grand and 1 great grand. No, I'm going to have 30 grand. One of my daughters told me, so she's, in a way, preparing to have her first kid. So it's going to be 29, it's going to be 30 grand now.
Congratulations.
And 1 great grand so far.
I have one more important question I'd like to ask, if I may. I've traveled around the world, and the one thing I've noticed, and I've said this in my classes and to people all the time, everywhere I've ever gone, every country I've ever been to, you hear Bob Marley music, the music you created. It's the Wailers. Why is that, do you think? Why does it transcend language, place, everywhere?
Yes. It's earthly sound. You see, as say, we are coming from the chief musician, King David throne, and we are the archangels, and we are voluntarily chosen for the mission. But true, we are just ordinary people who do extraordinary work. We are like work addicts, you know.
Yeah.
So some people realize how significant the work and the messages and the music, what we do, they call it the musical Bible, the musical Bible. And some just enjoyed it, nice. So people see it in different heights of heights, you know. Like I see a guy, the last show last night, where I'm telling me, the man said, yeah, I come in like Moses. And like him trying to study some of his history, so I'm just 30. And like him know a lot of things for his age, you know, he's proud of himself, what him study and know and feel, and he's talking deep for them heart, I could see that. He couldn't explain everything I know, because some part of it he recited himself, you know. It was like more than tongue can tell.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys almost.
We just asked the last question.
Oh, perfect timing.
I just said I have one more question. I want to answer it.
All right.
You know what? I want to thank you. This has been a beautiful interview, a wonderful experience.
Yes, my man.
Thank you.
Okay.
And thanks for the music.
Yes.
Can I snap a photo of you?
All right.
You going on at 8?
You know, well, Dwayne Stevenson's gonna go on at 8, and then we're gonna go on at 8:45.
What time is it now?
Right now it's 10 after 7.
Oh, we have time to
Is
get
it just
some
you two
dinner.
guys on the guest list, right? Just
Yeah.
one ticket for each of you? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
about to put it up there now.
Great.
Okay, cool. Fabs, one quick question. Your shoe size and shirt size. What size shoe, sneaker you wear?
Just what it was. 9.5.
9.5.
9, 9.5.
Yeah, they run small, so I'll go with the bigger, 9.5. Because this event we're doing in Europe is sponsored by Nike, so they're going to give everybody a sneaker and a shirt.
Yes, but a high one.
Okay.
I mean, not too high, but you know, cover the ankle.
Yeah. And what,
And what size again?
shirt?
Sometimes the LM work, sometimes the XLM work.
Yeah, I put large. Usually Nike's shirts run a little big.
Oh?
Nike. The shirts usually run a little bit bigger. So large should probably work.
If you can't see them, oh, you're not going to see them, you just
No, we'll just have to
some
get them,
number.
yeah.
Your shirt alone?
There's one shirt and one sneaker.
One shirt, one shoes,
Yeah.
no pants.
No. I guess they want us to go out and no pants on.
Right, okay.
That'll be good for ticket sales.
Right?
I don't know if I say XL, that's what I too big or for certain.
He'll make a deal. I put large for me, I'll put XL for you, and then we could just switch.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna move here so I don't
I see XXL and it look like it's just large. Some places have the number or the letters, but it don't match up.
Do you have, when you think of Bob and Peter nowadays, is it with feelings of affection and love?
Bob, Marley, and Peter.
When you think of Bob and Peter, do you have feelings of love and affection for them?
Yeah, man, I remember the happy days, the good days. And all time people always say good things does not last forever. Peter Tosh is the man who used to build my spliff for me. He's the one who teach me to build a spliff. You don't need, every time I build a spliff, roll a joint, I think of Peter Tosh.
Really?
He was the neatest guy building a spliff. When he built a spliff, it looked like it come out of the factory. It was neat, I tell you. Up to now, Bob couldn't build a spliff. Big and fluff.
Yeah, right.
Like catch a fire.
Remember you had that album that said you can use the jacket for cleaning your reefer?
Candy rapper.
Which, oh man.
One of the albums.
One of your albums, you said you could use it to clean your reefer.
Oh yes, that is Rastaman Vibration.
Yeah,
my
Rastaman.
man. The back of it is Neville Garrett. Art designer at the time, he designed it like a crocus. So it have the groove, you know. So when you go to see them just roll off the groove.
Yeah.
So right now the whole thing looks smooth, but at first it was a groove thing. You know, the back was rough, you know.
Yeah.
And the Positive Vibration album.
That's my favorite album of yours.
Man. And even when Peter Tosh came out with his first issue of his album called Legalize It, I hear that there was a herb, picture of a herb.
Right.
With some chemical in it.
Oh, yeah.
It smell like it. It's not it, but it smell like it, you know?
That's funny.
Yeah, my man.
Was Peter a fun guy? Was Peter fun to be around?
Oh, I used to see one of them performing. We were at a gig once in Japan. I forgot him. I call him. Yeah. That's him alone I know. I don't know all the Peter family. That's the one who used to perform like him and ride a one-wheel bicycle, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you live in Jamaica today?
Yeah, in Jamaica, for sure. I think so.
All right, I want to let you have some time before the show.
In his later years, Family Man based himself in Miami. In 2021, he was presented with the Order of Distinction from the Jamaican government. He passed away on February 3rd, 2024. For listeners not fluent in the Rasta dialect, I've posted a written transcription of the interview you've just heard. You can access it on my Talking Guitar magazine at jazzobrecht.substack.com. I hope you've enjoyed this historic interview, and before signing off, I want to thank my podcast producer, Nick Hunt, and the good guys at the Southern Folklife Collection at the University of North Carolina. I hope you enjoy these recordings, and you'll check out the other offerings on our YouTube channel. Thanks, take care, and catch you next time.